What's up, guys? Welcome, Lauren Pritchard. This is America's Communist Revolution. I remember hearing this back in COVID days that America is the only country that hasn't had its communist revolution. So we're overdue for a communist revolution. And it's funny because you remember things that you gathered in the past and you're like, you sort of forget. And then everything just comes full circle now. You're like, oh my God, yes, dude, this is America's communist revolution. Donald Trump is the beta test for the Antichrist. He's just the beta test. I don't think that Donald is himself a communist. I don't think he's some sneaky, snake conniving, maybe in other ways, but whatever. But I don't think that he is in the forefront of his mind, thinking about yeah, we're gonna have a communist revolution, but they're using him as to usher in the communist revolution of the United States. We haven't had one yet. This country is so young. It's such a baby. It's so dumb. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't. But yeah, Donald Trump is, the Trump train is communism. If you can read in between the lines, you're like, fucking communism. And I'm like, maybe that's a good thing if people have to focus more on survival than they focus in the personal life of people they don't like. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing if people can if you just focus on survival and you stop focusing on your petty little arguments and meddling in people's relationships and their day-to-day life, yeah, that might be a really good thing. It might be a really good thing if you're more concerned with survival than you would be concerned with other people's relationships. It's a behavioral phenomenon, gossiping and just all your Tindering, your Facebook and Instagram likes, needing all this attention and adultery with the internet. Yeah, it'd probably be a good thing if you had something better to focus on, like survival. I'd probably be beneficial to other people who are the butt of your endeavor to meddle in their personal affairs. Yeah, it'd probably be nice if he actually had to focus on survival and not focus on what the fuck I'm doing. Excuse my language. It might be better if you had to focus on survival instead of focusing on what the hell people are doing in their personal life. That might be nice. That might be nice. That might be nice if you had something to focus on other than, your vendetta against good relationships, good families, right? They always want to attack people's children. They want to attack, the devil wants to attack the marriage. He wants to, I'm only laughing because it's absurd. He wants to attack people's children, attack. It might be nice if you had something better to focus on. Survival, eating food, taking the mark of the beast might be nice. Sorry about ya, might be nice. Might be nice. Yeah. Because I think about the beautiful people in rural China. I just love the idea of rural China. Do you think those people have the types of issues that we have in America with adultery, with social media narcissism? No, they don't. They don't have those problems, but we do. And it's a petty, it's a degenerative lifestyle. So I'm not mad about it. But the Trump train is a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. It's a slide with slime on it. Like you're gonna be communist. People are gonna fall to a communist agenda. Yeah, communism. Enjoy, enjoy. There are so many communists in Austin, Texas. This is where I am right now. This is where I am, and I used to know this that there are tons of communists here in Austin, Texas. And I figured that out. And one time it was so funny. I was cutting hair for a dude who was trying to like philosophize to me about communism, thinking I'm like some young, impressionable person. How great is communism? And he was like, "Do you like communism?" I was like, "Yes, I love communism because the trash just takes itself out." And he wanted to absolutely die in my chair because he was a communist trying to push communism. Yeah, dude, I love communism because the trash takes itself out. I love it. It's so funny. And my neighbor heard it and she's like, "That's the funniest shit, dude." I was like, "Yeah, man, this people push communism, but they got to do it sneaky. In America, they got to do it very sneakily, very sneaky, very sneaky. But they still have to tell you who they are and what they're doing. They put all that stuff in their logos, you know? They're like, "Oh, it's right now, it's like the people who are like, oh, I'm just gonna like accept defeat. I'm gonna accept defeat of Donald Trump and the government. But I'm a big business owner. But, this is the guy that we're gonna get. And, we just gotta make the best of communism. Hey, communism. Me, I'm just going to till the grass, rake the leaves, mow the lawn, feed the chickens, collect the eggs, like play in the garden. Like, I'm just gonna go to work and tell my friends Donald Trump is communism. And they're like, yup. And we're all like, okay, great. We are hopefully, I think when push comes to shove, I think a lot of people are just gonna like, okay, fall into it. But it's not gonna be a big fight. I don't know. Only God knows, but I'm not trying to fight for capitalism. Like, that's crazy. Fighting for capitalism? Oh, before I knew it, I became a communist. And I like it. They're going to like it. They're going to enjoy it. It's going to be great for them. They're going to love it. And I'm like, you know what? That's great because so long as you're focused on survival, then you don't have to meddle in the lives of other people. If we're still here, if we're still in this country, if we're still in this vicinity, you won't have to meddle in our lives because you will be focusing on what to freaking eat. That sounds great to me. Communism is wonderful. Take the trash out. These people need bigger problems, right? Like they need like better things to focus on. So I'm just like I'm sort of a dictator in myself. Like, it's weird. How did dictators come to be? I've always been a dictator. I actually have always been a dictator. Since I was 16 years old, I have always been a dictator in my mind, but not in the sense that people think. Like Hitler and all that stuff is very evil. I don't know. But also at the same time, like, I have always been a dictator in my mind. And now I know why, because the culture has to be an upright culture. And if people don't follow an upright culture, I think you can do I think you can do big tech layoffs. I think you can do big layoffs if you look at people's pornography. If they're watching pornography every night after work, I would lay those people off. I would lay off the people who watch pornography. I would lay off adulterous men, adulterous women. I would lay them off. I'm a dictator. I've always been a dictator in my mind, but I've always been a really good person. This is like the weird dichotomy, like, oh, this is so evil. The tide changes from the cult of Babylon to the cult of Mother God, God. And they've always tried to use Mother God. Oh, Mother God. Oh, yeah, the mother. Oh, but somehow there's a blurred line there. And then, like, oh, the culture changes, but you're just like, no, a female worship. Female worship. No, not that. But who protects the female? God. God does. We don't do it. We don't attack. We don't meddle in other people's lives. We're just here experiencing what it is to be a daughter of God, a woman of God, and you're like, yeah, dude, these people really seem to be against us. Communists. Communists really seem to be against everything that we do. They try to stop it and slow it, cut it off, whatever they want to do. They've done everything, but it never works because we're looking for a monarchy. We're looking for God reigning supreme. Even if that looks a little evil, good. Let these people have something better to do with their lives than to focus on what the hell we're doing and saying on YouTube, as an example. You need something better to do than to watch what I'm saying on Instagram as a means to incriminate me somehow. You need better things to do. Obviously, communism. Can't wait for it. Enjoy it. Can't wait. Enjoy it. I don't know, like I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it, and I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it. The hardware implanted to disrupt the software has happened a long time ago. The hardware is disrupting the software so badly that people are falling away at a rapid speed. At a rapid speed. And then those who didn't fall away because they didn't get the hardware or their software somehow surpassed the hardware, they're doing way better mentally, spiritually, doing way better. You know, back in the day, people fought for their beliefs, but there's an interesting time now where people are just kind of like, if that's what you believe, enjoy it. What's the point? What's the point in trying to change people's minds? This is the difference about now and then. What's the point in trying to change anyone's mind at this point? America's having its communist revolution right now. It came earlier than we thought. It's so funny. Everything's happening so fast. It's coming earlier than we thought. I don't know. It's funny because it's like I don't know like what kind of advice I could give anybody who's not prepared for. It's like I don't know what to say anymore. I don't even know what to do. You're just kind of like, well, I'd rather not ruffle feathers. No, I'm a ruffle feather. I'll ruffle your feathers. That's always the type of person I am. But lately, I don't feel guided to ruffle feathers, but to just enjoy the company of who's ever around me, whatever you believe, whatever kind of thing you're trying to avoid, healing the self, healing your family lineage, healing your karma, healing your stuff, like heal it. I promote that. Other than that, I'm like, I don't think that swaying people's minds, I will say that, yeah, Trump is communism. I'll say that. It's a blanket statement. But I don't know that people care. That's the weird disconnect. I don't know that people care because they didn't care to heal their own traumas. They didn't care to heal their own relationships. They didn't care to look at the darkness within them. They didn't care about any of that. And so now it's kind of like, well, everything is going to fall where it may. They don't mind hearing that I believe Trump is communism. And a lot of people agree Trump is communism, but they'll probably still accept it if they didn't heal within themselves, developing a relationship with Jesus Christ and God. It's all happening so fast. It's like the most violent week of the year. This is the most violent week of the year. The most violent historical events happened this week. And we're not even, are we halfway through it? We're like halfway through it. That's what's crazy. We are only halfway through it. That's what's nuts. There's still more to the week. And it's just going to keep getting worse, as you can pretty much imagine. But yeah, what else can I say? They keep mentioning Armalite style rifles for a reason. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about weapons. I don't know about any of that. I can be Nightwave, black pill, Lauren. Maybe it's a black pill. Maybe it's a black pill. Maybe. Woo. You know, it's like, how much more can I say? Like, this is what I'm sort of, this is like my prayer. Like, what? I mean, like, what else? Like, what else? What else can you do? What else can you say? I mean, there are people who hated Donald Trump that are like accepting defeat and they're not mad about it. They're just kind of like, okay, yeah, like this is going to happen. And they're just like accepting that defeat, but they're not even mad about it. That's the weirdness. They're not even mad about it, but also I'm not mad about it. Like, who's mad about anything? What are you mad about? What's there to be mad about? You made your bed spiritually and you're going to sleep in it. That's what's crazy to me right now is I'm like, as a human being observing this reality, it's like people aren't even fighting for the things they used to fight for. They're just accepting defeat. And I wouldn't even encourage people to fight. Everything is personal. It's personal relationship, personal healing, personal traumas, personal balancing, personal things. And they're not doing it, and then they're like, I accept defeat from the regime that is the government, and it's sort of cloaking the need to do anything personal. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I'm sorry. Does that make any sense? There's this weird kind of like stalemate that's like, it is what it is, and we've made our bed, and we're going to sleep in that bed, and we might appease and get along with people by saying that we don't care, and then they don't, and they don't fight, and I wouldn't even encourage people to fight like that. That's a grim. It's grim. It's very grim. But I wouldn't even like, I'm not even surprised that people aren't fighting for it. They're just what I will say though is like there's a lot of people that want to leave the country, and I think that is a good thing. At this point, okay, like all that aside, like the only other thing that would be like in rebellion is, and actually like taking an initiative to actually make a change would be to leave the country. And I think that is I think that is God speaking to you. Not saying that everyone has to leave the country. I'm not saying that, but the only thing that I see that is like the ultimate act of rebellion is like, you know what? I just got to leave the country. Just got to go. Just got to get out of America. Just got to go. That's the only thing that I see that is actually like, that's an act of valor, like you understood the assignment and now you are acting upon that. Good for you. Everything else, I'm just like, it's a type of ignorance and accepting defeat, and I wouldn't even encourage it. Like, the economy is so bad. It's so funny. The economy is so bad. They made it to where you couldn't even afford to leave the country when the time came to leave the country. So die for the faith, This is wild. This is wild stuff. Like, I will have so much more to say about this later on. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's happening so fast. All right? That's that. You're the right kind of people. Love y'all so much. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you again really soon.